Good morning, everyone. It's Letitia Watson from Horse Spirit Healing. And I have begun the next 30-day challenge for myself. And I invite you to join along. Today is actually my third day. And part of the inspiration that I've had out of doing this daily journey with horses, where I am simply and truly only focusing on the intention of receiving love from these amazing horse love beings that emanate a love and desire to give it to me and to you and to anyone who asks to receive. So that journey has been an inspirational one for me. The 30 days led me to many exciting things. And part of what it has led to me is how to do this next month just a little bit differently. The first month, I went in with an additional little intention, and I started each day with a connection with you, really, and letting you know that I was about to go out and share this time with horses and encouraging you to do the same. That goes without saying. I encourage you to join me on this journey and to experience the love tanks being filled by these amazing horses that you'll meet on this journey. However, instead of talking to you before I go out, I decided to instead share on this next 30-day journey my experience after the fact. So I am intending to share a bit about my experience with the horses. The horse videos will still be out there as a daily presentation of a small clip of my experience out there soaking up the love with horses. And that will still happen, but then I will share with you perhaps how it impacted me, how I felt, or some creative inspiration that was born out of this time and this decision to go on this journey to help me become more creative and creating my visions here in Costa Rica and bringing love and peace and meaningful connection and authenticity with horses and humans here. So that is a journey that I am on here, and wonderful things are happening, and I believe more wonderful things will happen as that vision becomes more and more an actual reality when my horses are actually in this little garden grazing behind me, which I know is going to happen during this 30-day journey, that the new horses that are coming into my family are going to be a much bigger focus of this 30 days as soon as they get here. So my intention is to share the impact of my daily love interaction with horses. So that is my new way of engaging on this journey with you, is a little bit more sharing about the personal effects and personal experiences that I have that you may witness on video in this beautiful place in Costa Rica, but not be able to see the actual experience that I might have had within. So that is the intention. And the first day that I went out, I ended up going out with the 3 little sweet horses right across the driveway who I hadn't seen for over a month. And one of the things that really came forth for me was that I felt the energy in the an awareness of the energy lightening around me. And as I was feeling this lightness, it's the best way I can describe it is it was a lightness. It was a lightness almost in literally the light, like everything seemed brighter. But it was also just an energy lightness. And I really, hard to come up with a different word to describe it, but it was, what I realized is that it was an absence of fear. And that this energy that I was feeling around the horses, and that this was, I felt like I was feeling how they were feeling, how they operate in the world. And I think it's even greater than how I felt it at that moment, that there was even more. But it was such a sense of lightness and of expansiveness, a place of trust, because there was no fear. And that's literally what I felt they were trying to explain to me, as I was like, wow, this feels so good. This feels so light. It feels so peaceful, the fear was not there. It didn't last for a huge amount of time, although all of this experience that I've had with horses has lifted me into love, and which is the opposite of fear. So, but it was a special moment in time that I experienced with them on the first day. And I also was noticing about them is that they were very itchy, and they were scratching themselves with their ears and their back foot and itching and stuff. And it's the time of day; it gets a little mosquito-y, and it's moist and humid. And I feel like they all would love baths, and I would love for them to trust me enough to get close to them to scratch all those itches and do equa touch on them. But they're not. They're really just have set. This one white horse has come closer and closer, but no touching has happened in my time with them, which is the only horses that I've experienced that have not been in touch with me, as these three. So I actually asked them a question. I was like, there's such a level of peace here, but what about, like, aren't you, what about all these irritant, this, scratching and itching, and you're still so full of peace? And the answer that I received to that query of how do you stay in such a place even when things aren't perfect, even when there's irritants such as getting bit and itchy and hot and sweaty, and the answer was, this is the energy we live in, and things that come in, things that we have to deal with, as long as they're not life-threatening, these little things, they don't affect that we're full of love and joy. That's things we deal with. It is, but it doesn't affect the other. And I thought, wow, if I could only get to that place where I could be at a place of just peace and joy. If I'm in this safe, secure place and there's nothing threatening my life, I can just be in peace and love, regardless of the little irritants, regardless of the inconveniences, regardless of things not being perfect in the way I want them to be all the time, that I could still really feel that level of lightness that I sensed that they did. And that was my big takeaway from my time with the horses on day 1 of my second month. And I would love to hear your stories and your sharings and your writings and your posts on Horse Healing Journey Facebook page, where I would love it. I love to hear people's inspirations, and I am very excited for this continuing journey. So, ciao from Costa Rica. May horse healing be upon you. I am now going to shut this off and tell you about day 2 also, and post that with that video. Ciao from Costa Rica. I'll be sharing more about today's journey with horses later. Ciao.